run.
Doctor!
I know. Dinosaurs on a spaceship.
Come on, Sony, you really had to open this around the same time as Scream 6, Shazam, and a bunch of other well-known franchise movies. This movie's going to get buried because of that decision, and it does not deserve to get buried. It is one of the most original films I've seen in a while, and it is incredibly well done. Now, out loud, describing the premise of the movie, where it's Adam Driver fights against dinosaurs in space, that sounds really stupid. But the film is actually really well done. It is not as campy as a premise like that would have you believe, and it's also careful to not take itself too seriously to the point where it loses all credibility. It's like the right amount of both. It's the right amount of campy, but it's also serious enough when it needs to be, and it's also really intense. Like, it harkens back to the scares and thrills of the original Jurassic Park film. The other Jurassic Parks, I mean, they were kind of intense, but not as intense as the first one. This is like that level of intense with the dinosaurs. And this is actually closer to what I was hoping Jurassic World Dominion was going to be. Because what the last Jurassic Park movie before that said, what Fallen Kingdom set up was, it's people trying to survive on the planet inhabited by dinosaurs. But instead, we got a plot about engineering wasps to control the food population. So that was a little bit of a miss. But this is more along the lines of what Jurassic World Dominion should have been. This is what I think of when I think people surviving against dinosaurs. An intense thriller with jump scares and action. And for a movie that only has like 2 main characters in it, it's fantastic. Adam Driver gives a dramatic performance, and he really gives a lot of emotion, making you care about his survival. And there's this little girl that he finds on the planet, and he takes in the little girl, and she's also really well written. And she doesn't speak, or at least she doesn't speak English, and she's silent most of the film. And it's interesting because she has a really good dynamic with Adam Driver's character. Adam Driver kind of teaches her all these survival skills to survive against dinosaurs, and as the film goes on, she starts to apply those lessons, and they made her really resourceful. She's helpless enough that she gives Adam Driver stakes to his character, but she's also resourceful enough that she feels like an actual character, not just like a plot device. And like I said, the movie is really intense. There are a lot of jump scares, there's a lot of intensity, and I was kept fully engaged. And my only real criticism is some of the way the film is structured. Because the first act feels a bit rushed, and the third act feels like it wraps up a bit too soon. It just kind of suddenly ends, and I'm going, it's over already? Like, I feel like there should be more of this. So the movie is only around 80 minutes long, and I think it could have benefited from being maybe a solid 2 hours, perhaps longer. It feels like there was a little bit of last-minute studio executive meddling, but the majority of this film I had a blast with. So it's a shame a lot of people probably aren't going to see it. Hopefully when it hits streaming, it gets better word of mouth, because between it opening against a bunch of bigger movies and it getting just abysmal critic reviews, and I honestly don't even know why. Hopefully that doesn't work against it. Hopefully when it hits streaming, it gets better word of mouth and people actually watch this movie, because it's fantastic. It's well made, it's intense, it's dramatic, it's thrilling. It's Adam Driver fighting dinosaurs on a planet of space. It's intense. It's fantastic. So I give 65 an A, a 9 out of 10, and 4 out of 5 stars.